but behind closed doors, I'm a fool for your love.
How is it going, ladies and gentlemen? It's your favorite underachiever back, and I'm going to be doing something a little different today. For today's video, I am going to be doing a game review, and I know you guys have not seen a game review on this channel. You guys did not expect a game review on this channel, but as I kind of mentioned, earlier in a few videos ago, Overwatch has been going in and out with me. Some days I love it, some days I want to punch a wall and just totally destroy the game. Plus, the Season 3 has now ended. We are now in the week limbo until Season 4. And quite frankly, I needed something else to do with my time. So I decided to go ahead and purchase For Honor. Now, this is a game that I've been discussing with my friends a lot. Half of us are on board with it, half of us are not. I'm still the only one to actually have purchased the game. But there's a lot of mixed feelings about this game, and I can see why. So I'm going to go through, some of my opinions and some of my thoughts on it, hopefully helping you guys either finally, make the decision to buy the game and spend the $60, or to just wait, see if it comes down on a sale, and or to never get it at all. Without wasting any more of your guys' time, let's get into this review. Now, the multiplayer, I'm going to give you guys a little overview of it. Multiplayer is very individual, where you can either play versus other players or you can play an AI and all these things. So you can join a small team of players and take on the AI, which is almost like a co-op mode where you could do you and your 3 friends playing a Dominion match, and then you're placing 4 computers or bots as they call them. Or you can just jump into a big game and play versus other players. And they have a few different game modes. They have 3 main selections of the map, which is duel, then you have the battles, and then you have the Dominion, which is its own game mode. Duels, you either play 1v1 or 2v2, and then they have the battle mode, which you either enter a skirmish, which is essentially just a team deathmatch with you, which you play up to 100, up to 1,000, or you get into a what they call a deathmatch, which is essentially 4-on-4, but it's almost like 4 one-on-one battles, where you start facing one person on the opposite team, and for 5 rounds, every round you'll switch and you'll face a different person on the opposite team, and that's just a best-of-3 series. Now, there are also seasons in multiplayer, and you can trade in things like war earnings to help you grow, and you have to claim more map territory. And once the season ends, you earn loot depending on how much territory your group has. And there's a lot to this multiplayer because you can also upgrade your person. So you have a selection of about 12 to 15 different warriors, and for each warrior you can level them up, prestige them. As you go, you'll get better loot, and then you can upgrade your loot, open loot boxes, and essentially you can give the advantage to yourself. So it's much like how Call of Duty Advanced Warfare was, in a sense of the more you play, the more loot boxes you get, the more you play on one individual character, the better chance of you getting, an extra blade that has a damage boost, or a blade that boosts your revenge points gained from a block. So, some things I love about multiplayer: every battle, every swing, every encounter is very different. It's not like a typical shooter where every battle comes down to a battle of seconds, and I'm talking like Battlefield, Call of Duty, Overwatch, all these first-person shooters where it could be just as much of a sniper bullet or 1 second of they just locked onto you a little quicker, and that's what changes the battle. This is very much a skill-based game where if no matter how many upgrades you have, no matter how much higher of a level you are, it's going to depend on your individual skill compared to the opposite person. If someone's just better at dodging attacks and knows how to use their warrior against mine, he's going to win. I don't really care how many, revenge points I have, how many levels I've gained in all my armor. It's not going to make a difference when it comes down to just pure skill-wise. Also, another thing I really enjoy, the combat system is also very clean and relatively simple to learn. This is not something I'm familiar with either. I'm a Call of Duty baby. I grew up playing Halo, Call of Duty. I grew up, playing some Battlefield. I am a first-person shooter guy. And I feel like if you are someone who has played any of these fighting games that have been out, this is the game kind of for you. Because the one thing that I am terribly bad at is just knowing the different combinations. Whether it's up on the left stick plus B and then RB to do this, perform this move to perform that kind of a swing. That's where any of the learning curve comes from, is just remembering each individual character's specific set of skills and specific set of swings and how they can use their different abilities. But I do enjoy it, and it is relatively straightforward. As complicated as it may seem, there is a moveset button that you can easily just press and access at any time, and there's always reminders, and it just makes sure, and even gives you tips throughout the game, throughout your multiplayer and single-player campaign, letting you know that, this is how this one particular character is supposed to be played. The season setup is also something I really personally enjoy. I've been playing Overwatch for a year now, and it is something very comparable to that. While it's not as serious as a game like Overwatch, I'm not going into every game, sweating and on the corner of my bed, basically panicking if I lose. It's not that serious, but it does add to another dimension to the multiplayer campaign. You're not just going to be stabbing a person for no reason. You're fighting to further your legion's territory. It gives you something to fight for. It is to be seen really what loot you get at the end of it. It could be just something as stupid like a little level 2 vest, or it could be something really cool like a legendary vest that's a rare item that, may boost your speed 3 times, that may give you a really cool boost. It's hard to speculate what it's going to be because we haven't even got through the first season yet, but the seasons are very short. I think they last about 2 weeks at a time, which is a lot shorter than a season like Overwatch would. But I think it just gives you something else to fight for. You have these different legions, you have your knights, you have your samurais, and you have your Vikings. Other than, if they didn't have this competitive thing, there wouldn't be much else to it except for your class system. Giving it this competitive season gives it, a pride behind it. I'm proud to be a samurai, and I'm proud to, have claimed this much territory. Some of the things I really don't like, and there are a good amount of them, but the first of which is the map selection is a little bland. There's 3 to 5 maps, and that's just, kind of how it feels. And in the game right now, you plan on sitting down and you're wanting to play a few hours. You're likely going to find yourself on the same map over and over again, which in a game like this isn't terrible. Map focus isn't something that is highly needed in a game like this. But it just takes some of the excitement out of the game. When you have games that, like Battlefield, which is what a lot of people are playing right now, where they have these incredible, just elegant maps, just stunning, and these maps are, but there's just really no difference to it. And it doesn't really change between game modes either, If you're playing a one-on-one battle, they'll just kind of cut you off to one portion of a specific map. It's not like a specific map for different game modes. It's just like, we're going to stick you on the same map. We're just going to give you a smaller amount of the map to work with. And the bigger game modes, the 4-on-4, they give you the entire map. I really think they need new maps in this game. I think it's probably something that they're going to come out with. I can't imagine them not. But again, it can get a little bland just seeing the same kind of setup all the time. Another kind of issue that I've been going around with is replayability. Now, I don't want you guys to get the opinion that this game is not fun to play. And every battle is different, and it's exciting, it's very skill-based, it keeps you very focused, but I found myself, after the first day, if I tried to sit down and play 2 to 4 hours of the game just straight, it gets very monotonous. After playing long sessions, I think it's a combination of the map selection, the game mode selection, and just, that it can make that game a struggle. There's something about it that just gets very kind of if I sit down and I play Overwatch, I can play for 6 hours, and I'm constantly excited. I don't know if it's the teamwork about it. I don't know if it's because I don't have any friends playing this game. But there is just some factor that just makes it a very, wow, this is fun for an hour and a half. But, it's getting to be a struggle. Last night I tried to record some gameplay of it, and I replayed 2 hours of it. And then my gameplay got deleted thanks to my Elgato. Shout out to Elgato. And I had to record another 2 hours of it, and just that second 2 hours was just painful, I rather had gone to bed than actually stayed up and played it. I think, as the game goes on, as I get better, as, more content comes out, it's going to get more fun to play if they come out with new game modes. But for now, it's not one of those games where I see you being able to sit down for just like 3 to 6 hours and just playing straight, forgetting to breathe kind of enjoyment. Now, getting into the story mode, getting away from multiplayer. Now, story mode is what you would expect. There are 3 separate chapters where you play as the 3 separate factions. You play either as the Knights, the Vikings, and or the Samurai. You go from battle to battle, brutally stabbing AI bots in the face, finishing them off with gruesome deaths that inevitably leaves their head rolling in the dirt. Now, I can get into this a little bit because I did play a good amount of the campaigns and I actually finished one of the 3 factions last night. But the character building is really good, and the cutscenes are the perfect length. I haven't experienced any insanely long cutscenes that kind of tempt me to be like, I should go get a snack during this because this is the most boring thing in the damn world. But, the one obvious drawback to the campaign in a game like this, and I think in a lot of first-person shooters as well, is that it's going to be the same thing every time. It's just killing and killing, and it will really lean on the story to make it great. There's not going to be any big secrets when it comes to campaign combat. And that's one thing that I find is very hard to do in games like this. Even games like Call of Duty, Battlefield, and Halo, I found myself getting very bored. Even sometimes in games that I love so much, Borderlands to an extent, where the goal of the game is to kill things, every part of that campaign feels very much the same. It's like, oh, I have to go to this area and shoot someone in the face? Fantastic. I gotta go there and shoot that guy in the face? Yeah, I got that. Oh, there's a guy over there that I gotta shoot? I figured as so much. So, and that's kind of how it is here. It's, I gotta go stab this guy. Oh, that guy needs to get stabbed too. His head is still on. I should probably go chop that one off too. And it's, it's very much a repeating kind of theme. I will say what the campaign has done well is made it feel challenging, and they've added a lot of story elements to it. And I think that keeps it very interesting. It's not just stabbing. I've gone through and I have to take down a catapult, or I'll have to release these mechanisms that totally crumble a castle. And in the last mission during the samurai part of it, there's something about where you have to take on this leader, and you battle him in 3 separate parts, and he's just an absolute monster to take on. And that was one thing where I found super challenging, and that's where I think the campaign does shine in its sense, is you can make it challenging to the sense where you're probably going to die a few times, since there is no just coming back to life. You go back to a checkpoint. There is a sense of challenge to it, and I think that keeps it interesting as well. But, just keep in mind, this is going to be a campaign that does repeat things and does repeat the same, go here, kill this, go here, kill this, go here, and so forth. Finally, the verdict. So, should you buy the game or should you give it a pass? In my opinion, the game is a great buy for someone like myself who has been looking for a new game to play while ignoring their significant others, and, that really needs something to fit the need and need to fit that time frame. The game will either be a love-hate for you, in my opinion, because the combat system is pretty static. You'll either love the strategic combat style, or you'll hate it because it's somewhat boring to you. If I had to give the game a price for what I think it's really worth, it would be about $48. So it's not perfect. I don't think, I could say, this was 100% worth my $60. It does have some room to grow and improve, but it's definitely worth an investment if you're really into a nice brutal and gore-laden experience. I think, it's just going to come down to, do you like close quarters combat Viking-style games, or are you just do you need something more? Do you need the shooting? Do you need, a large selection of just kind of diversity. Because, this game is what you get with what you see. It's going to be very close quarters combat. It's going to be knives. It's going to be swords. It's going to be a lot of just, hand-to-hand combat. And if you don't like that, you're not going to like the game. But like I have said, I do think it's a good game. I think it's worth the buy. If you're really interested in it, I don't think you should hesitate any more than you already have. So I'm going to end the review here. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you do like these little game reviews, I know Mason is putting one out as well on Astroneer. Please leave a like in the comment section below, and we will keep doing these kind of game reviews. As always, stay achieving, and we'll see you next time.